Earlier this week, former President Donald Trump was charged with 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. The former president pleaded not guilty. So what does Congress have to say about this historic event? Joining us this morning is Congressman Ed Case. Good morning, Congressman. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. It's great to be with you. Thank you.
Now, first off, what was your reaction to this historic day?
Well, I wasn't surprised. I mean, there are a number of criminal investigations going on in various venues across the country with respect to President Trump. This was obviously one that was going on. Clearly, there's one in the Justice Department. There's one in the state of Georgia. There's a number of them. And so the fact that eventually a grand jury did indict him was not a surprise to me. It was a sad day. It is not a good day when any former president is indicted, but that's the justice system that's taking its procedure.
Now, I heard some people say this will fire up his base. Others saying it will cripple his chances for another run at the presidency. How do you see this playing out?
You know, I will tell you what I think personally. I'm not going to spend the next 1 to 2 years of my life revolving around what's happening with President Trump. I've got plenty of stuff to do in Congress. We have many issues that our country faces. President Trump right now is not a part of those issues, and I've got work to do. And so from my perspective, I'm going to let the justice system take its course. One thing to emphasize here that I think is lost is that this was a grand jury indictment. So this was not the district attorney. This was not the prosecutor saying that he was going to charge President Trump. This was a jury of his peers that said there was sufficient evidence to bring this charge. And so I take their decision seriously. But President Trump is entitled to a presumption of innocence in our courts, and the justice system is going to treat him as it should and does anybody else.
Now, you talk about the work that you're doing. You're always working hard for Hawaii. I understand that you took a trip with your colleagues to Taiwan, Japan, Korea. What was the purpose of that trip, and what did you learn?
Well, this was with my Defense Appropriations Committee. So I'm, again, on the Appropriations Committee, which is responsible for all federal funding. And I'm now on the subcommittee within Appropriations that handles our defense and our intelligence community. It has roughly half of the entire federal budget. So it's a critical committee, and I definitely wanted to spend time with my colleagues in the most critical part of our world, which is the Indo-Pacific. We have seen just this week China's reaction to the president of Taiwan visiting our country and talking to our citizens, as is her right. And we have incredible challenges, really, in the Indo-Pacific. And so it's important for me as a member of Congress, especially with my colleagues on the Defense Appropriations Committee, to go to the Indo-Pacific. We went to Japan, as you pointed out. We went to Okinawa. We went to Taiwan. We went to Korea to spend time with our military to understand what is it that you're doing, what do you need, what are the risks, what are the challenges, but also with the foreign leaders, because this was not just about our military. We met with the senior foreign leaders of many of those countries to make that connection and to talk about strengthening the alliance and partnerships that we have there that are necessary to meet this challenge.
And some good news. Talk about your talk story sessions that are finally making a comeback.
Well, I'm very excited about this, first of all, because I've always loved my talk stories dating back to really my days in the state legislature when I did it in Manoa Valley, when I represented Manoa for all those years. And then when I went into Congress 2002 to 2007, I think I did something like 175 talk stories all across the 2nd Congressional District at the time. And I just love the personal interaction with my constituents. I love standing there telling them what I'm up to and listening to them and facing them. You know, I think this is important. There needs to be one-on-one contact between people like me and people that I represent. I learned so much from them, and I hope people take a lot out of them. And COVID has, you know, I've done many virtual talk stories in the last 3 years, but nothing replaces a personal talk story. So I'm going to run 6 of them next week right across my district. We're going to start in East Honolulu on Monday night, and every single night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday morning we're going to end in Ewa Kapolei.
And you see the list right here. Of course, Congressman will be taking questions. What do you say to people when they be like, what about those alleged China spy balloons that are hovering over?
Well, what I say is I try to answer the question as best I can. But, you know, any question is fair game. I mean, it's not really, partly it's about what I want to convey, but mostly it's about listening. See, that's the thing about these talk stories. If I get asked a question, I'm listening to the question. I'm understanding that to that particular person asking me that question, that is a very important issue. And so, you know, for the most part, I feel and hope that I'm pretty well aligned with my constituents. I need to be if I'm representing them. But sometimes you're surprised and you miss issues that are happening back home or in constituents' minds. And so for me, this is just an invaluable part of my job, and I'm really looking forward to it. I hope people join in.
And I'm sure they will. It's a great way to stay connected. And of course, we will have all that information, all the list of the meetings that you'll be having starting next week on our website at KHON2.com. Congressman, thanks for joining us this morning, and you have a great Easter weekend.
And you too, and everybody out there. Thank you so much.
All right.